welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing just a weekend reset. I try to do these every single weekend, basically resetting the home, the garden, setting intentions for a new week, and focusing on rest and recovery. Our weeks are usually pretty busy, so this is a good time for me to do some of the peaceful activities around my home. So let's share a peaceful weekend reset together. Grab a cup of tea or a beverage of your choice, and let's go ahead and jump right into this video. I hope you enjoy. The past few weekends, we have been focusing on clearing out the garage, which we usually try to do once a year around this time. The garden has unfortunately been a little stunted this year due to lack of sunshine. We have had a lot of rain and just not as much sunshine, and I'm a part of a Facebook group, and apparently a lot of the other local gardeners have been experiencing the same here this year in Tennessee. I'm just coming in today and manually pulling weeds, specifically right around my plants that are a little stunted, just to make sure the weeds don't choke them out, and then eventually the weeds get out of control and we do weed whack and other things, and down the line we'll definitely tarp and try some other options. We didn't get any rain in California. We get an abundance of rain here, so it's just a little bit of a different feel when it comes to the garden, and we're still figuring it out. But Byron has been doing lots of cleanup on the property, cleanup in the garage, a lot of time on the zero turn, and weed whacking and everything. So we like to come out, especially on the weekends, to check on the garden, and we have a few fun things growing, so we're excited about that. But the garden is definitely a bit more stunted than we anticipated. So like I said, we've been getting a lot of rain, so even over the weekend it was raining on and off. So when it stops raining, we come back out and try to tackle some of the chores. I wanted to clean out the chicken coop today, so we try to clean this out pretty regularly. So today was my turn, and it wasn't super dirty, which was nice, pretty easy to clean. So I just go in the greenhouse, grab my gloves. I make sure to cover my face just because I don't like to breathe in the straw and everything. So just go ahead and clean that out and collect the eggs, make sure it's nice and clean for the girls. We have 2 chickens and then a set of 4, but they don't really hang out together. They're not like the best of friends, but yeah, so sometimes you'll see 2 and then sometimes you'll see 4. We do try to let them free range, especially if we are outside and we can keep an eye on them. And I also like to pick some of my lemon balm, which is going crazy right now because it is definitely invasive. And I put a lot of lemon balm in the chicken coop. There are lots of benefits to that, but at the very least, it makes the chicken coop smell really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that here. I'm pulling plenty of lemon balm, and I like to keep the girls' chicken coop nice and cozy and smelling good with the lemon balm. I've been wanting to come into the greenhouse and clear it out. Anytime I go to Trader Joe's and I forget my reusable bags, I always keep my Trader Joe's bags, the paper bags that they give. We like to use those in the garden, great for weed prevention, pretty good for the compost as well. So we like to lay those down if we're doing like a garden bed or even just to, like I said, prevent weeds. So I'm organizing the bags and all the buckets and pots that we reuse. Also, all of our gardening equipment is in there. And the chickens were very curious about what I was doing because they watched me the whole time. I think they thought I was carrying around some treats for them, and then they realized that I didn't have any on hand at the moment, so they gave up and walked away. But they're pretty friendly girls. They always come and say hi, and they're actually pretty chatty as well. We have had so many cicadas, so they've been helping keep the cicadas under control a little bit. Nature is pretty brutal, but yeah, we've had an abundance of cicadas, and they definitely enjoy those. Cleaning up the greenhouse, which we're pretty much wrapped up with using, at least for right now. And then you can see the blackberries are just starting to pop up around the greenhouse, and we'll continue to organize this area. If you followed our journey in California, it took us about 5 years to get the garden where it was, and we were ramping up in the last 2 years. So we're kind of getting to that point here, although this is a very different environment and a very different garden. We like to think of this more of a cottage garden, and we're just kind of leaning into the environment that this is, which is a lot more wild and just a totally different gardening experience, but still beautiful in a different way. So we should have blackberries growing along that fence line, and I might add some of those citrus boxes like I had before. Now that it started raining, I'm going to come and just clear out the front porch, reorganize the day bed, and just move everything to its spot. You know, sometimes my kids leave their bike helmets or whatever, so I like to clear it out, especially in the summer. We spend a lot of time on the front porch. We will be pulling out the above ground pool here pretty quick. We're late this year. Last year we had it out and ready to go at the last week of school. But so I'm just moving some boots and reorganizing things. And that's kind of basically what a reset is on the weekends. I go around and put everything back where it belongs. I have the kids do the same for their rooms and just reorganize everything so the house is reset to how, you know, where everything goes and how we like it. One of my favorite things in the entire world is growing flowers and picking them and bringing them inside my home. I always used to go to Trader Joe's and buy bouquets of flowers and bring them into my home, and I would have only dreamed of having a flower garden so beautiful to enjoy. And these zinnias I planted, I got from a farm sale, Sweeter Day Farms here in Tennessee, and they're these just beautiful rustic zinnias, and I loved them. And then we planted the hydrangeas, was it last year? And they're so beautiful. We have purple, pink, and the white are just starting to pop as well. So I could not be more excited because I used to buy hydrangeas and I used to bring them into my home all the time, and now I'm growing them, and I did not have luck with hydrangeas in California. So I'm very excited about the hydrangeas and the zinnias, which are beautiful. And then also the Eden roses I planted in the ground, so I'm looking forward to seeing those again, but not till next year. So every year there's definitely something to look forward to in the garden, and look how beautiful it is in the garden post-rain. I'm bringing the flowers inside and I'm going to put them all around the house, which makes me so happy. I miss that during the winter. I miss being able to bring flowers from the yard inside, but every weekend pretty much I clean the house, do the laundry, set intentions, and I love to kind of try to keep the weekends a peaceful reset for around the home. So I'm going to make some tea today. I recently was introduced to this Tazo glazed lemon loaf tea. I heard about it through an ASMR girl that I like to watch on TikTok sometimes before bed. She's like really, really peaceful and super wholesome. And anyway, she mentioned this, and I'm not usually a big fan of lemon tea because sometimes it's bitter, but this is like a lemon vanilla. Byron thinks it tastes like butterscotch, but it kind of has a sweet flavor to it because of the vanilla. It's caffeine free. It's so, so cozy. Definitely 10 out of 10 for the spring and the summer and even the winter. I just think it's a beautiful tea. So I made myself some of that, and I'm going to have to order a new box soon. And then I'm just doing my kind of like journaling, setting intentions. I like to write lists. I talk about this a lot on my channel, just sort of visualize what the week is going to look like and calm my nervous system, because our weeks are so busy that I need time to reset for me too, just like my nervous system, and breathe and think about the week. I usually write a grocery list, like what we're out of. Me and Byron usually decide, what we want for meal planning, and try to set intention for that for the week. So we usually try to do all of that on the weekends as well. Weekends are typically when I try to tackle the rest of the laundry, but I do it throughout the week as well. And one thing that we have been a lot better about too is just having our routines and systems in place so that the weekends aren't as overwhelming in terms of resetting and cleaning up. So that's been really helpful. We've definitely gotten into a routine over this last year, cleaning up every single day. And then the weekends we focus on, general reset, finishing up the laundry. And next week I am going to do a bigger spring cleaning though, and touch some of the things that I don't touch every single week. So I'm going to try to clean out the attic and reset all of the school supplies since we just finished school, and kind of do my summer reset, if you will. Today I am just cleaning all the bedding, the boys' bedding and everything, and that's typically what I will do every weekend. Towels, laundry. I'm getting that done today. And then I like to reset the couch. I have this beautiful quilt that my sister-in-law Melanie made. I usually put that on the couch. That's nice because it's very easy to wash. And so I usually put that there, and it's just so beautiful. So again, just an overall weekly reset. I do the same thing pretty much every weekend. And then each season I do a reset. So I will share my summer reset next week. I'll probably share that because I do some other things like clean out the vents, clean out the attic. We did the garage. We bring out the pool. We do some more of the deep cleaning. Last but certainly not least, on the weekends, particularly Sundays, Sunday afternoons, I try to focus on rest and recovery. We have very busy weeks and sometimes busy weekends as well. And so I try to make time for self-care, rest and recovery on the weekends. We've been working out a lot at the gym with my kids' mixed martial arts, and me and my husband are doing it now. Current Body recently sent me these compression boots. They always send me like their new wellness products whenever they launch. I was so excited to get these because they're these, compression boots that kind of mimic a massage. And then I'm using my Jartoo heated a mat, which I have the heated blanket I put away for the summer, but I use it in the winter religiously. And then they sent me the little tiny one that's just basically like, I put it around my stomach. I'm getting ready to have my period and I just feel awful right now, actually. So it feels really, really good. I've been taking this Arrae vitamin, Arrae? Yeah, their vitamin, their Bloat. I like to take that around my period. It's got natural ingredients for bloat. And then the Gaia Herbs Adrenal Health, which has functional mushrooms and has been helping my sleep tremendously. Between that and the magnesium and everything, I've been sleeping so much better. Trying to, really hone in on my sleep because as I've gotten older, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night sometimes. And when I take my supplements religiously, it definitely helps with that. So getting good sleep and all that. So anyway, this was my weekend reset. I really hope you enjoyed it. I was focusing mostly on the garden this weekend because there was plenty to catch up with there, and I was excited to share with you the flowers that we're seeing and all the beautiful things in the garden, and look forward to sharing that with you during this season when we spend a lot more time outside as well. So I will see you very soon in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. If you like my channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye.